You have just entered the KBMOD podcast. Keyboard plus mouse or die.
Hello, and welcome to episode 72 of the KBMOD podcast. We have most of the regular crew.
Clue? Can I beat Professor Plum?
Raging Clue.
I have such a raging clue right now.
Oh my god, I have the hardest clue. We have Nick, John, Brandon, Hex, and myself, and the ghost of APL Fisher stuck somewhere in IGA purgatory. No idea where he's at. Maybe Garrettson killed him at the after party. I don't know. He didn't tell any of us, though. And I don't know. We might have a mid-cast appearance from Michael Chestnut.
No, that's
probably
not happening.
So, all right, we'll get right into it. Nick Fenton, what have you been playing up this week?
Dota 2. A lot of Dota 2. I finished Dishonored, and I started Far Cry 3, and a little bit of Lego Lord of the Rings. I think that's about it.
Nice.
And Forge. I played a little bit of Forge, too.
Yes, we did play some Forge, which we will get to.
But mostly Dota 2.
Well, you are a Dota 2 professional.
Yeah, I'm really good. My ELO is 12.
You practicing for the next NA versus EU match?
Yeah, so I can slightly less feed. Instead of going like 0-10, go like maybe like 0-8.
There you go.
And I am now erect. Thank you, Magnus. Me too. And on our second panel on my screen, we have Voss Fanboy, otherwise known as John. What have you been playing this week?
Fucking Far Cry 3. What a fucking game. The best game that's come out in like the last 2 years. I'm telling you right now. That writing, those characters, the best ever in TF2. But Far Cry 3 is the best fucking game.
Yep.
How does it stress your rig?
I'm fully maxed out, I'm only running 1680 because water, but I'm getting like 50 to 60 on completely fully maxed out. I turned my shadows down to like high instead of ultra, and I turned down SSAO, and I'm good.
It's a beast. It's a beast.
But it's really, really well optimized, and it looks great on every setting. So like if you have a shitty computer, you can turn it on low, and it still looks better than most games, and it'll run phenomenally. Bought it for Dan for Christmas.
He did buy it for me for Christmas. So, but yes. So TF2, as always.
Yes.
I believe John was in a match just before the cast.
My question for Far Cry 3. For Far Cry 3, how long does it take for the story to pick up? Because I'm like 3 hours in, and I'm not attached to anyone.
10 minutes into the game, I got instantly attached to Voss.
Well, yeah, he's the memorable character, but like you don't see him for a while after the very beginning.
Yeah, but you still know that like this is what you're fighting against, and this character is the best character since like Portal. It's awesome.
I like the animals. I like being.
Me too.
I've never been killed by someone with a gun. My first death in Far Cry 3 was to a cow, so it literally gored me to death.
I like hunting. I wish you could go fishing, though. I don't like shooting the sharks with my gun. I would love to fish and then, fuck it.
Well, that's the mark of a good game, is if you can be killed by livestock.
Sharks have barbed penises.
Dude, it's like a fucking horror game, too, because you'll, go to swim across a river and this fucking alligator just bites you out of nowhere and you jump real bad. So it has, everything. It's great.
Yeah. So we'll get back to Far Cry 3 even more. But next up, we have Brandon. What have you been playing this week, sir?
Tried out Forge, which is good so far, but perplexingly, you can't choose the game type you want to play. So I've hopped into random matches and I didn't really know what I was doing because I didn't know what game type it was. But I imagine they'll probably that game has been on the top sellers list on Steam, I think, every day since it was launched, or at least every day I looked. So it seems like they're doing pretty well, and hopefully they'll patch quickly.
They're great guys too.
Yeah,
they are good dudes.
Played some of that. Played a little bit more of XCOM. Played.
Did you beat the game yet? Did you beat XCOM yet?
No, because there's so much side stuff you can do, and so I'll be doing side missions, and I just don't even remember that I'm supposed to be building this certain thing or something to advance the storyline. So I don't even know how far I am in the game. I already have probably 10 or 12 hours into it, at least. But a lot of that has just been kind of the side quest stuff. I've played a little bit of Blacklight just because I hadn't played in a little while, and with a little present from Garrettson, thought I would give it a try. So that was fun. Had some fun with that, and then played League of Legends because the Season 3 patch came out, and so they changed a lot of stuff, which we'll talk about a little bit later. But enjoying that a little bit since everyone's kind of new to the new mechanics of the game, and so I don't feel like such a scrub when I go into games, and I don't know exactly what I'm doing because no one really knows what they're doing. So it's a little bit you feel better about yourself when it's a little more acceptable to not be as good as you were supposed to be before.
Yeah. So, what about you, Hex?
Let's see. This week I played a little.
You played many things this week.
Yeah, I did. I played a lot of stuff this week. I picked up a bunch of the cheaper like indie games that were on the Steam sale. I played. Let's see. They Bleed Pixels, which is,
by the way,
fantastic. So great. Excellent game. It was like if you took Super Meat Boy and then added a combat mechanic to it that was really thought out and really well done, you would get They Bleed Pixels, and it's excellent.
Oh my god, there's a living fly in my water.
That's disgusting.
I almost drank that shit.
I bet none of the
why you drink that shit?
None of those indie games you got are good because the only good games that come out are $59.99.
Well, yeah, I actually got Wizorb, which was 74 cents on sale, and I had heard some good things about it, but because it was only 74 cents, it was probably garbage. It was actually a lot of fun.
How'd you manage to afford that one?
I actually had to blow through, guys.
You took another mortgage?
Yeah, I did. It's really well done. It was an interesting way to take like a Zelda-style RPG and add Arkanoid into it, because that's the first thing that would pop into my head. But it really, the game music for it is excellent, and the graphic style is just like if you took a Nintendo game and made it 1080p somehow, and it's just phenomenal. It was a really fun game. For 75 cents, it was great. It was fantastic. And then I got Minor Wars 2081 on that Green Man Gaming sale. It was like 80% off for one day. And whoever is Keen, I've never heard of this company before. It's Keen Software House, I think is what their name is. If anyone from Interplay ever sees our podcast somehow, please, for the love of God, give them the Descent license now. It is perfect. It is everything that Descent should have been in modern times. The graphics are great, and the 6 depth of focus control is phenomenal. It's a new Descent game.
How much is that game?
It's like $25, which I thought was really steep.
God, it seems
I think for $5, it's phenomenal. Like it's everything that even for like 15, it would be good. But 25.
Wasn't it on sale for 15? I thought I saw it on sale for like around that.
It was like I think it was 20 when they got their green light approval. But then Green Man Gaming had it for $5, and I was like, okay, that's my price range for a game, and I will pay for that. And it was it was worth it.
I don't get like games that do that, like Lucius or like that are like the first game from a developer. It's like you're an unknown commodity and you're putting, a steeper price. Like if you're an unknown developer and you're putting your first game out, make it like $15, $20.
I wouldn't even thought about it at 15, but at 20, like even at 20, I was like, I don't know, I don't really know this company. And they had made like another version of Minor Wars that was not. It was just called Minor Wars Arena. It's like a top-down fighting something game, and it was like $5. It's like, oh, well, maybe that's good. And I watched the videos for it, and like crap. So it was really hard to justify. Like, I've never seen you guys before. You have no ground to prove yourself on. So why would you charge this much for your first game? Like, $15, I would have bought it and not even thought about it. But 25, no, I can't do that.
All right. Well, I have I played some Diablo 3 on Friday.
Oh, I did play Diablo 3 too.
With some buddies from work, and we just rolled new characters. Had a blast. We got to like level 14 or something, but also played some more blobs too this week. And then we had our COD 4 open lobby night, which was a lot of fun on Tuesday. I sucked ass. I'm so out of practice from that game, but it was a lot of fun. And then, of course, also Binding of Isaac and Metro 2033. I streamed last night. Metro is fucking hard, dude. Like, or I'm bad, one of the two. But I'll get like far, and then it'll checkpoint me in an impossible situation, and I have to go back to like the previous checkpoint at the beginning of that chapter, and I'm just like, motherfucker. It takes all the enthusiasm I have for the game away when that happens. So that kind of sucks, but it's really, really
It's funny
good.
how the saving system in some games, like in single players, can affect the way you play the game.
Like I got past like a bunch of guards and stuff, and then got into a really shitty situation, and that shitty situation happened to happen on an automatic checkpoint. So I was like, well, this sucks, so now I have to play all the way back, and then I was fucking up the part before that. So, but and yes, we'll get started on the discussion here. I did get Far Cry 3 from John for Christmas because he is a boss. I watched Hex stream it on Wednesday.
I don't know what you're talking about. That didn't happen.
And because he was in the UK streaming, it was crazy. We flew him there
just to play Far Cry 3.
And he streamed it for like 2.5 hours, and then we flew him back.
Yeah.
And he had to stop the stream.
I took APL's private plane for that. It was great.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. You have no idea how much cocaine is on that plane.
It's like
so much cocaine.
It's tons. But I basically played through what he played through, and then a little more on the stream this morning. Well, that was like a week and a half ago Wednesday, Hex, not last Wednesday.
Yeah.
I'm an idiot.
Yeah. Well,
last Wednesday he would have streamed it from the US, obviously.
Right.
But
I also took my entire house with me. That's why the background was the same. I took this office in the plane.
Yeah.
It's great. It's fantastic.
So, but regardless, and John obviously has been playing it. I am extremely impressed.
Yeah, it's good
so far.
It's really good.
Graphically, and you are totally right, John. Anyone out there with a system that isn't a 680, you're still going to be able to play this game, and it's still going to look really good. I was streaming it today with my 965 and my 570 on. Everything was on very high, not on ultra or whatever the highest thing is. But it looked amazing. And I was able to stream in 480p, but I was able to stream it, without any hitching or anything. The best part about it for me, for Far Cry 3, is when I'm not on a mission.
Yeah.
So when I'm just running around, like, I just found a hang glider, and I was like, all right, let's go hang gliding and go to this island that I'm not even supposed to be at yet. So, it was very cool. And I've seen lots of stuff on YouTube, like base jumping montages from it and stuff like that. So, highly, highly recommend Far Cry 3. And like I said, if you're worried about your video card or something, if you have anything above like a 560 Ti, you're gonna be all right.
You can run it on low on probably a 5770 and hold 40 between 40 and 60. I think that's the lowest card I would go, which is a pretty old card, but it scales really well. So like a 5770, if you have a 6870, you're going to be able to run it on high. It really, really scales well.
And then
even on low, it looks better than anything but like Battlefield 3 and Metro 2033.
I thought that was one of the AMD partner games for this season. I know that AMD worked with them directly, so they're supposed to be pretty good on AMD's even older cards. But I think they need a little help with SLI, though, because I had it on, I want to say, very high. And
do you have the newest beta?
Yeah,
drivers?
I grabbed it right before I played, and I was like, oh, okay, this will be fine. And even with my array, I was getting like 40 frames a second, so I don't know if it was just there's not a lot of SLI optimization yet, but hopefully that gets ironed out.
Well, if they were partnering with AMD, then their SLI profile is probably not quite as honed in as it would be if they were working with NVIDIA.
Yeah, which I'm sure it'll get ironed out, and it's still, like, even at 40 frames a second, it felt buttery smooth.
Yeah, that was the thing. Like, I was streaming today, and I actually didn't have a frame counter of any kind up, and I was just using game capture and OBS, And if I had to guess, I would say it was between like 30 and 50 and jumping in that range. And I never felt it though. I never felt like, it was going poorly.
You can game capture with OBS now?
Yeah.
Nice.
It's amazing. Well, it's amazing sometimes. Do not get the newest version of OBS, by the way. This is a public service announcement. Do not get the newest version. At one point, I dropped like all the frames, pretty much. Stream just went black.
Oh,
and the drop frame counter just went like through the roof.
That happened to me playing Black Ops. I was playing Black Ops 2 and streaming it, and like all of a sudden my frames went from 125 to 10, and I had to restart the stream.
Also, if you get a new version, this was something that I did not do today, which caused some of my problems. Make sure you go back into the advanced options and check Fix Audio Video Sync, which is an option that was automatically checked before, but is not now. So there you go. But yeah, I know a lot of people out there that listen to us want to stream or do stream and use OBS, so make sure you do that. So yeah, it was really bad, Sam. It was very, very, it was pissing me off quite a bit. But yeah, also this week, game that came out, which Brandon, Nick, and I have all played, Forge is out, which is a game that we highlighted from PAX Prime that Brandon and I played for like at least an hour each on the show floor.
Yeah, I don't know that we were there that long, but we were definitely there as, 2 or 3 sets of other people had already kind of filtered in and out.
Yeah. So what Forge is, we've talked about it before. It's like an RPG PvP, like an MMO PvP game, I guess you could say. Like, I called it PvP Combat in the video we posted.
It looked like Smite from that video.
Yeah, it's like Smite in that it's third person.
Yeah, and that's about where it ends.
That's about it.
Yeah, I haven't played it.
Otherwise, it's World of Warcraft Arena with more people.
Oh, okay.
Like,
but it even now that in its current form, I feel like it even feels kind of different from that because of the range.
Yeah.
I mean, because the range is so extreme that it doesn't even feel that close to WoW anymore.
There is arrow drop though for the Pathfinder.
Well, you just play Pyromancer and you just stand on top of a building or something, and then
that's actually what I did for an entire game.
That's
and I had
what
like
I do.
30 assists.
Yep.
Yeah.
Pyromancer. They should probably tone down some range on the Pyromancer's
there's
auto attacks, but
it's still a very fun game, and I would say if I was going to give an award this year for most potential for a game, Forge would be my my nominee, because there's so much that this game I feel could be, as far as even like an esport or just a much more polished, fun experience. Like you could get, you could totally get the guys who play Diablo 3 and play WoW, like, big streamers and highly skilled players at that. You could get them to play this game at a high level, and it would be really cool. You can wall bounce and stuff. Like it's pretty cool. But yeah, there's a lot of polish that needs to be put on the game still.
It has. I will say though, it has improved a lot from where it was in alpha. I mean, it still feels a little rough around the edges, but the game itself, they've made some huge strides in only a few months since we saw it at PAX. They seem to. I don't know how big their team is, but they're definitely making progress very quickly. And I think now that they'll have a lot more people playing, I think hopefully they'll be able to gather data a lot quicker on, the stuff that's overpowered, or, if 50% of people are playing Pyromancer to just nuke people from long range, like hopefully that stuff will get balanced out pretty fast, because that game's going to live and die by class balance.
Yeah, well, it's also going to live and die by being able to choose your game type. That's also going to be
they need to fix the joining on friends thing.
Yeah,
that doesn't work at the moment.
So yeah, for those who don't know what we're talking about, it puts you in a random game type when you choose your game.
You can't look at a server browser yet. You can't really do anything except click random for a server of a game type, and you don't know what it's going to be.
So those are the downfalls.
But you do get an extra copy if you buy it until like the 18th or something. So you could give that to somebody if you want to buy that game. It's $20, I think, right now.
In essence, it's on sale because it's $20, but you get 2 copies. So if
Go
you
half with
and a
somebody
friend
and-
go halvesies, and it's only $10. I think it's worth every bit of $10.
I think we would pretty much say overall, both games we just highlighted, Far Cry 3 and Forge, check them both out. Forge is a bit more niche, I must say. Like, certain people might try and just be like, nope, immediately. But
if you like working for your kills, you'll love Forge.
yeah, it's not. You're not going to insta-give people in Forge. You definitely got to chase people down. So
we now interrupt your scheduled programming to bring you an urgent broadcast from the front lines of America.
All right, guys. We're going to start in the news with the news that wasn't really surprising to anyone, but now we have official confirmation. Valve is making a console. They haven't... Gaben basically confirmed today that... Well, not today, but... was it today? Yes.
I think it was on the VGAs or somewhere around there.
Yeah. So, Valve is making a console. That doesn't mean console in the traditional sense, I don't believe, as it is going to be a Steam box, basically using Steam's entire library on it, you would think. We don't have any real details. They said that it will be a very controlled environment. If you want more flexibility, you can always buy a more general purpose PC, such as a home theater PC or something like that for your living room, where you control everything on it. But the nice thing about a PC, this is the rest of the quote, the nice thing about a PC is that a lot of different people can try out different solutions and customers can find the ones that work best for them. So basically, Valve just wants to be able to control... this sounds eerily familiar, the entire experience for you, but also it really simplifies it. You just load right into Steam, I would assume, on this, much like a XBMC media machine, where you don't even really see Windows. It just loads right into your media libraries and things like that. So this sounds like you're just going to load into big picture Steam, probably on a Linux platform.
Yeah, I would.
Although
I would think it'll probably be some custom Linux distro they make that's optimized for however Steam runs on Linux. Seems like that would be the direction they would take.
Yeah, and as the end of this this Maximum PC article says, a lockdown Steam box running Linux probably wouldn't be all that useful. However, Newell made it clear that third-party OEMs were welcome to join the party as well, basically meaning people will be free to make apps for whatever this distro is. So if you want, a real web browser, instant messaging capabilities, email, Twitter apps, all that kind of stuff, probably would end up having that on there. I would say, and now this is all speculation by me, obviously, but I would say this will probably be pretty damn cheap whenever it does come out.
They're gonna have to make it really cheap, because I think that's the only way it's gonna be very compelling. You've already got other cheap options like Roku and Apple TV and stuff for people that want media, right? And I think you're gonna have to make it cheap to entice people to buy something just so that they can play games, on their TV.
Yeah. Someone just said sub 300. I would say sub 200. I think it would be even cheaper.
As a launch price?
Think of it, though. Think about it, though. The OS and the platform are going to be essentially free. Like, they're not going to really have to pay, like, Windows licensing on each one.
True.
The Linux distro will probably be, half, like, an already existent distro like Ubuntu or Arch or Mint or something, and then they'll build off that. Like, all it costs them is some R&D initially, and then they can just update it like they do Steam.
I think it'll depend on whether it's hard to know what Valve's roadmap looks like for this product and where it fits in, but I think it's all going to hinge on whether they want to make money on the hardware or not.
They won't. Console developer, nobody who develops a platform like that, like a console of any sort, thinks that they're going to make money on it. They all take a loss on it. Even on launch prices, they take a loss.
Well, not all console makers. I mean, Nintendo makes money on their hardware.
That's because they put shit hardware.
Well, but I'm just saying.
Yeah,
that,
but
like
you're
Steam,
right.
Steam may want to play. If I don't know where this fits in their roadmap, but I could see Steam or I could see Valve trying to get that price as low as possible, kind of like Google did with the Nexus 7. Where they're not really making money on it, but they're getting you into their ecosystem. They're getting, in Google's case, it's Android.
More
in Valve's
people on
case, it would be Steam.
Steam,
They want you on Steam. They want you to start building up that library, participating in the Steam sales, because I think that's where they want to make their money.
Yeah, and Zero Armada in chat, if you're listening, Zero Armada just linked a quote from another article. Basic specs of the Steam box are said to include a Core i7 processor, 8 gigabytes of RAM, and an NVIDIA GPU.
Yeah, that's not going to be $200.
Basically like an Alienware X51 kind of thing. But yeah, so that's about where that stands. We don't know anything about it. It's supposed to be possibly in 2013, but we won't know any details really for a while.
If it does come out next year, it would probably be holiday season.
Yeah,
I had to guess.
Yeah. If I had to guess when it's coming out, I would say whenever they find out the Xbox 720 and PS3 are coming out, that's when it's coming out. Or PS4.
I can't wait for that PS3 to come out.
It'll probably be the same thing anyway.
Man,
so,
they got PS3's got some cool games. Uncharted 1. I can't wait for that game. Man, PlayStation 3 is looking good for 2014.
You don't want an Xbox 720 Fusion. You have a better PC right now. It's like
I think the only thing with the Steam box is I'm kind of confused who the market is for that. Like, I don't know. When I play computer games, I don't want to be at my couch. I want to be at my desk. That's
why I think it's going to have to be cheap, because I think it's more a play of people that are used to playing console games. Yeah. They're already used to that lean back experience with a controller, and I'm sure most of those gamers know that Steam has the sales and the cheap prices and stuff. So if there was a cheap box that they could play their Xbox but get Steam sale prices, then I think there's a lot of people interested in that, but maybe not the people that are already in their core demographic, the people that already have good gaming PCs like we do.
Yeah. One last note on this before we move on. I would say this also affects, and then now this sucks because now I'm blanking on the name. What's that open source console that's coming out?
Ouya.
The Ouya? Yeah. Ouya? The Ouya.
With a Tegra 3? Ooh.
How does that make them feel? Now,
you know what? I think that's totally different, because the content you're going to get on an Android platform is so different than what you get on the PC.
It kind of is, but it also, I feel like, this great open source thing just basically.
They're also going into the same market, though. They're going into
it's the same market. Space.
True.
I mean, but that's supposed to be really cheap, right?
But
it's supposed to be really
$100.
Yeah, $99.
Yeah.
And I think their dev kits are already shipping. Like, they're getting hardware in people's hands now. Like, even if you were on, like, I know Nick BA on Twitter.
It's a Tegra. It's a Tegra 3. It's a Tegra 3.
That's a
Tegra 3 versus a Core i7 and a dedicated GPU is going to be a pretty different experience.
Yeah.
Definitely aiming for a different caliber of game, I would say.
See, I would almost be more interested in an Ouya in my living room, because all I want to do with my TV is watch Netflix. That's it. I don't want to play games on my TV.
Or you could just buy a Roku.
Yes.
Yeah, but isn't that like
45?
Are they 45 now?
Yeah, and you got Netflix and
there's
Amazon,
games on it.
and I think there's a Fox.
There is games
there's a
like
Fox
Angry
News
Birds.
app, so you can fill up on Bill O'Reilly.
I'm in.
But I mean, be honest though, if Valve manages to launch this at, let's say, like 250 or 300, a ton of people are going to rush out and get one.
Yeah, I think
because you already own games on Steam. It's just another PC. At that point, it comes down to the demand for Linux ports of games, and if Steam can show that there is that demand, then maybe they start changing the way the market looks at Linux as a gaming platform.
Steam should just be the new Google. So then I can have like an email at steammail.com.
At Gaben.com.
At Gaben. That would be a good one.
That would be awesome.
At Half-Life 3.
So moving on, we reported, and pretty much everybody reported last week, and everybody was all up in an uproar about Broadwell, which is the Intel architecture after Haswell, because it was going to be BGA. The chip was going to be soldered on the motherboard, and you wouldn't be able to have that customization that gamers and enthusiasts like. But Intel and AMD have both now come out and said that at least through 2014, they're both committed to socketed CPUs. Again, for gamers, it means a lot less, but it is the beginning of the whole system on a chip thing is starting with this. But Intel, I would say, it says 2014, but Intel has said that Skylake will be socketable. And that's like 2015, 2016.
Well, AMD said 2014. Intel just said foreseeable future. That's their quote.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that means, because I mean, Intel has roadmaps that go out a decade.
Yes.
Internally.
There
so
are out there.
It's hard to really know what that means. It seemed like they were kind of covering their bases to try and get people off their back.
What I listened to this week, and I told Hex and tweeted this out as well, the AnandTech podcast, which is not going to be for everyone. I'll tell you that right now. It's very nerdy compared to
super technical.
It's very, very technical.
Well, if you read AnandTech, you'll probably be interested in their podcast.
Yeah. But their podcast this week, which I hadn't really listened to before, but I did listen to this week because they were going to talk about they talked about this issue. What they basically said, and they have access to NDA stuff. They didn't reveal any of that, but they have more information than most people. They basically said that Broadwell is looking like something that's going to be mobile only, kind of like very focused on that, and then Intel goes right back to the normal LGA for the time being. Like, in 2020 or something, that far down the line, yes, we may have just the system on a chip and stuff, but Skylake will be socketed, it sounds like. And from what they were saying on there, it sounds like Broadwell will have enthusiast parts even that will be socketable. So
I mean, really, that makes sense, because Intel has to work with so many different hardware partners that would be a massive change to that whole market. There would be a lot of companies upset, talking about like the HPs and Dells of the world that now have to try and reconfigure like their whole supply chain because of a change like that. Yeah. So I wouldn't be surprised if Intel even made a comment on this, because really these were just rumors, and Intel doesn't typically comment on rumors, but it's kind of telling that they actually made a comment on this, because I think maybe they were getting some pressure from those different partners being like, hey, we're hearing all this stuff. You're not actually going to do this, right?
Yeah. Asus worried as hell over there in the corner, wondering what the hell's going on. But yeah, so it sounds like if you just bought a PC or got into PC gaming through us or in the last couple of years, don't worry, you're not going to have to relearn how to make a PC, at least in the foreseeable future. You'll be all right.
Intel's probably still going to change sockets on you every generation and force you to buy a new motherboard anyway.
That's true.
Yeah, so that was the thing with the Broadwell rumors. Like, well, I always have to buy a new motherboard anyway, so who cares if I can buy a chip at the same time?
Well, but it comes down to if you fry your CPU, now you've also fried your motherboard. I mean, there's a lot of ramifications there that would change.
And as I said, on that fact and other facts, and even if you're a layperson and you don't understand most of the technical jargon, the AnandTech podcast from December 3rd, if you really want to know about this, go listen to it. They got very in-depth, but you could understand what they're saying, even if you don't know the technical side. And they pretty much broke it down as well as you could. So go check that out if you want. Up next, AMD's slow death knell continues on.
AMD may not be around in 2014.
Yeah, AMD. They might be guaranteeing sockets till 2014, but they may not have CPUs to put in said sockets. So
they're selling their campus.
Yeah, they're selling their campus.
$250 million.
Yep. And they just Global Foundries, if you never knew this, guys, is Global Foundries was owned by AMD and used to make all their silicon wafers, for their chips. But they used to buy about $500 million worth of these silicon wafers to make chips, and this next year they've put in an order for a whopping $115 million. Cutting their expenditure on chips by basically 80%.
The crazy thing is that to do that, though, they are agreeing to pay a $320 million penalty. So they're only saving, what is that, $65 million?
Well, when you're selling your campus, you're counting pennies, clearly.
Yeah. And it's probably, there's probably more to it when it comes down to accounting. Maybe they take the loss this year. It makes them look better for next year. I'm sure there's a very calculated reason for why they're doing it, but it still seems crazy that you even have to resort to something like that where you're paying such massive penalties to reduce your orders.
So, Capsar, my buddy who works at AMD, is in the chat. They're lowering the margins. You still have a job. Capsar still has a job. He's been through several of these cuts. Poor guy.
But basically, this means that they have a lot of stock left over right now, and they just don't.
Yes.
The demand is not there for AMD chips, and so they're reducing what they think they're going to make for next year, I guess.
Yes.
I literally blacked out.
They're trying to stay a step ahead, is what they're doing, and I guess that's admirable.
Yeah.
I think they're trying to make themselves look better for next fiscal year, because this year has clearly been a complete disaster for them. So if they can start next year having some of this stuff behind them, then maybe it helps their share price. Maybe they do better in investors' eyes next year.
So, yeah, and more AMD news to finish off the hardware news. And this one is relevant to most of you. If the other stuff you kind of tuned out the technical jargon with the chips. The AMD Radeon HD 8000 series has had some leaked specs, including the 8990, which will have a solid 5.1 billion transistors on it, which is just a small amount. But it is looking like a monster, and it will have 12 gigabytes of video RAM on this thing. Jesus Christ.
That's entirely necessary.
In case you wanted to run 67 monitors on your gaming,
I need 2. I'm going to need to get 2 of those. That'd be great.
Yeah, K9 Hadouken in our chat. Lots of transistors, no working drivers.
Yeah, that's the thing. It doesn't matter how good they are, Catalyst still blows.
So they've also detailed the rest of the line. The 8750, that's only 2 gigabyte, but it's the clock. Yeah, GPU clock to 800 megahertz. Wow. So 8970, 8950, all the stuff you're used to. But they look like, and we heard a rumor a while back about it, where the 8770 was just sounding like an absolute monster for like $200, but none of that was actually confirmed. So,
and it sounds like they're launching that. It sounds like they're launching that 8000 series line sometime in early 2013. Because if they're pushing the dual GPU version out in the article says probably the second quarter of 2013. Usually, you don't see that dual GPU card until a little bit after the single GPU launch. So it sounds like we'll see those cards pretty soon. I'm curious what NVIDIA's timeline looks like. If AMD is already pushing out their next generation within the next couple months, I mean, NVIDIA is going to be behind the ball at that point.
So, but the 8000 series I don't have the article on me, but this was months ago. There were some leak specs, and it just sounded like, it was even the lower end cards were gonna be better than like 7970s and stuff like that. Yeah. So, it was gonna be a huge leap, is what it sounded like. So, yeah, keep your eyes on that and on the 700 series if you're looking to upgrade your video card. You should see the 8000 series very, very soon. So, up next on the gaming news, and of course, the always credible VGAs.
Oh, good lord.
For this weekend. The IGAs were also this weekend, which we'll also talk about a little bit. The VGAs, which are essentially just you pay a bunch of money and then you win an award if you're a gaming company.
I don't know if that's how it works exactly. But
I'm pretty sure when Modern Warfare 3 wins your Best Shooter award, it pretty much was just some buckets.
I think that probably has more to do with the people, the way these are. But
this year is much less suspect
on Spike TV.
Yeah,
so that's your audience. So
you should pay attention to it about as much as anything else you do on Spike TV.
The nice thing is next year we're starting a chip in now, so KBMOD will be the game of the year at the VGAs next year.
Yeah, just the website.
Just gonna buy
the
it.
podcast.
If you watch Spike TV and you know anything that isn't Modern Warfare 3 or Black Ops 2, I will get a slow clap starting for you. If you can name me any other video game, just wow.
I will say this year at the VGAs, the Walking Dead game won 3 awards.
That game was supposed to be awesome.
I agree with it.
It is supposed to be awesome. I just don't feel like it's a game. That's my only beef.
I just can't get my head around the fact that the people that brought us Jurassic Park the game can win Game of the Year the year after.
They did Back to the Future too.
They won Game of the Year. They won Studio of the Year. They won Best Adaptive Video Game and Best Downloadable Game. So
I'll give them.
Best downloadable
Can we just get rid of
game
best
means next to
downloadable?
nothing. That's the dumbest category.
Well, when they say best downloadables, it's best downloadable on like PlayStation and Xbox because you download everything on PC now.
It's the best game that's downloadable. It's the best game.
Yeah, and then you buy a physical copy like a man.
It's best game that's downloadable.
Here's my beef with The Walking Dead. I have heard universal praise for this game, so I'm not shitting on the game. I'm just saying, is it actually a game? It's like a movie, a choose-your-own-adventure movie. It's not like a game.
Also, I'm looking at this list, like, XCOM, best PC game. I love XCOM, and I was, like, shouting that game from the heavens, but not best PC game this year. It's really good. It's a great game, but it's not.
I think that's a good... But I think, like, you look at the audience. I mean, the fact that a game like XCOM even wins...
That's fair.
I think says something for its quality. Because they're not playing the breadth of PC games that, people like us are.
It's also not a PC exclusive. Like, it's on everything. So, I don't know.
Yeah, but I would argue that
it
probably plays best on PC.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, I can't imagine playing that with a game controller. It'd be terrible.
It is nice to see something that wins Game of the Year that isn't, shoot at people's faces.
Yeah, that's true. That's good. That's good.
It's something.
Can we give a slow clap here for best graphics as Halo 4? I know. Now hold on, because I know that people who play Xbox are going to say, but it does have amazing graphics for an Xbox game. It's amazing. I don't care. Best graphics means the actual best highest fidelity, best visual experience. And the fact that you give best graphics to a game that is not available on PC, where you will
any
have
other console,
best hardware, that's ridiculous to me.
Yeah.
That's when I stopped reading.
Best graphics. No, yeah, that's great. Your best graphics for a piece of hardware that's 7 years old. That's Let's go back 7 years and find a PC game.
I don't think we should be giving accolades for people who are managing to, put passable graphics on an old system.
Yeah.
They're not pushing the envelope.
I mean, Halo 4 does look good for an Xbox game, but it's still an Xbox game.
Yeah, because you have to add that thing at the end.
Far Cry
for an Xbox game at the end of your
Far Cry
sentence.
3.
That's the thing is if Halo 4 was on PC, then at least if you say Halo 4, I'd be like, well, all right, Halo 4
maxed out on PC.
But you basically told me that you don't care about this category because the game that won is not even available on PC.
Yep. So, there you go. Most of the other ones on here are kind of inconsequential. My only other beef was best driving game, Need for Speed Most Wanted, a pretty universally panned game as being the same game as every other Need for Speed game with nothing new.
Yeah, I mean, it's all right.
And actually,
but did that many driving games really even come out this year?
I guess Forza 4 and Gran Turismo didn't come out this year.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing, is some of those games aren't eligible.
Project Cars came out this year, and that's supposed to be amazing. So is that F1 game.
Oh yeah, that F1 game is supposed to be really good.
But,
you know what? I did hear the music for Journey was amazing, so I'm really glad that got best original score. What I listened to was excellent.
In Journey is amazing.
That's Nick Fenton's game of the year. He can't vote for it on our ones, but that's his game.
Yeah, I've heard it's fantastic. It's almost enough to make me hook my PlayStation back up. But
you should do it.
So,
that's about it.
Other than that, not much. Although this year, I must say, overall, the VGAs this year were not as kind of marketing nonsense as they were last year. As far as who won, I felt like good games actually won.
Also, if you watched, you saw a small appearance from Captain Sparkles.
Oh yeah, I heard he was on that.
He got shot by Samuel L. Jackson in Minecraft. So that happened.
Great, man.
I saw where one of the interviewers or reporters called Gary.
Yeah,
that pretty much solidifies that you should not pay attention to anything that ever happens at the Spike VGAs.
Yeah, one of
if
the most
you fucking
influential
are
people in
hosting a
gaming.
video game show and you don't know who Gabe Newell is, fucking kill yourself.
Wow.
That is the most famous person in games.
And
I can't think of anybody
about
else other than maybe Cliffy B. Maybe Cliffy
The best
B.
thing about that is that on Twitter afterwards, she apologized or said like sorry, and she tweeted at a Twitter account called Gabriel Newell, which is just some troll account. It's like, you got to be kidding.
Wow. Yeah, that's just pathetic. I mean, there's nobody else in the industry right now that's as influential as Gabe Newell, and you can't get his name right.
Did anybody else notice how Jessica Alba looked semi-coked out? Because that was my impression of her when she walked on stage. She
Isn't
just
that
looked
just
like
her in general?
And I don't care
Yeah.
if she's coked out, dude. I would let her blow the coke out of her nose, and then I would snort that coke
with
because
like
she's
with
so
like
hot.
drops of blood in it too.
I would snort the coke that she blew out of her nose because she's so attractive.
What if she shot it out of her butt?
I would snort that too. Don't care. Don't care.
So on to the IGAs, which are Machinima's, the Inside Gaming Awards, which it really sucks that Famas Scott never got back to me to come on tonight. Because I was like, I wanted to ask him, like, dude, what was it like doing a production that big? And like, but whatever, dude, you know, just whatever.
You know, it's also a shame. Halo 4 Game of the Year. So.
Yeah, Nick Fenton, immediately, the first tweet I see, I didn't watch the IGAs at all. First tweet I see, 30 FPS, just one game of the year.
That was not my tweet. I didn't say that.
Oh, that wasn't
That
you.
wasn't
Somebody
me.
else said that. But Halo 4 won 3 awards here: Best Sound Design, Best Competitive Multiplayer, and
Yep.
Game of the Year.
Maybe,
okay?
I could have maybe gone for best multiplayer, but you added the word competitive in there,
I
and
wouldn't even gone
that's
best
when I lost
multiplayer.
it.
It should
not the
say
best multiplayer either.
the best ad buy of the year. That's what it should be.
Yeah.
The best ad buy. All of the
Best
awards. Best
co-op
ad
multiplayer?
buy of a co-op multiplayer. Best ad buy of a video game this year.
Yeah.
Best ad buy for a PC game.
Maybe they should change it to best competitive multiplayer when you're playing on the map Haven, because all
Wait a
the
minute.
other maps are awful and the matchmaking system is broken. Halo 4.
Mark, I'm asking Mark, do you have a link for the nominees? Need for Speed Most
for Speed
Wanted
Most
was under
Wanted was on there.
competitive multiplayer.
I don't want to. I
I'm
don't want
done.
to. I don't want to say why I
It
think
was.
Need for Speed was on there,
I
but
saw it.
It was on there, so we can all just, assume things.
The
as
only
to
one
why
that's
that
on
made the
here,
list.
literally the only thing on here that I agree with is best art direction Journey. Because
No, there's
Yes.
several. There's
I think there's a few good ones. Best
I agree
original
with-
game, Hotline Miami.
I agree
I
with
think
a lot
best
of them.
narrative, Spec
No,
Ops.
I
I
will
heard a lot
debate
of good things
Hotline
about
Miami
that.
should not be original game. I will debate
I will
with you.
actually agree. Nick and I
Hotline
talked
Miami
about,
is not the most original game of the year. It is a top-down 2D shooter. That is
Journey
not
looked
original.
like the most original
I'm
game.
I'm not saying I agree with it, but I'm saying it's nice to see a
As-
game like that get recognized.
It is nice. Maybe it should have won like indie game or something, but not original.
Fez
when
winning
you're
best
lined up
original
with
score,
something like
best indie game's pretty good.
You know what? I
I
don't
agree
think
with that.
Fez for best indie game. It had so many launch problems, and it literally to the point that it would corrupt your entire save. And the developer came out and said, "Well, there's no way for me to fix it, so you're fucked." Like, no, then you
That's
don't
true.
win.
That-
You don't get to win best anything if you give up on trying to fix your game.
I watched
Sorry.
the movie with
Hexidecimal
him.
is right.
I watched the movie on Netflix with the guy from Fez. Dude's fucking
that guy was.
great.
He was just like on the line of a
Yeah.
breakdown.
He
was
seriously, he
I
was
think at
10
one
seconds
point in the
away from
movie-
putting the gun in his mouth.
Yeah,
Like,
he actually said, if my game fails, I will probably kill myself in that movie. It's
Yeah.
just awful.
and I mean, Fez looks like a really great game. I'd love to play it, but it's not coming to PC anymore. It got scrapped for PC, and B, it's broken as shit on Xbox. So there's no way I'm going to pay for a game I know is
However-
broken.
The most public outcry I saw was for best DLC being Mists of Pandaria, which
It's not DLC.
No,
it's not DLC, but
Well, they kind
how
of
can it not win? If it's up for it, it has to win. There is no better expansion of anything
best
than
ad
that.
buy for additional content. With
I'm
World of
confused.
Warcraft.
Why? Like, I'm actually confused. Why wouldn't WoW in a WoW?
Because it's not
DLC?
DLC. Because
Yeah,
it's
it's not
not
DLC.
I
It's
think that's
full
why they
price.
call it additional
it's a full
content. They
price
get
game.
around that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, did they say additional
That's what
what
the
it's
best
content?
called, but
additional
it's called
content.
best additional content, which I think is kind of a cop out because you're right. Mist of Pandaria and the other nominees, like one of the nominees was Man vs
I
Machine
don't
for
see the
Team Fortress
nominees
2.
any- I wish I'd.
Which I think Man vs. Machine was really good DLC, and it was free, and that's awesome. But Mists of Pandaria and Man vs. Machine are like two completely separate categories.
How did MVM not win the VGA best DLC over Dawn Guard? Like, I love Skyrim, but Dawn Guard, no, not the
Next
best
year
DLC.
they're the VAD Awards. Just the VAD Awards.
Okay, so yeah, I'm looking at the nominees now. Okay, so best competitive multiplayer is the biggest joke I've ever seen in my life, and the game that should have won didn't win. But
what was it?
Wow, that's Tekken Tag 2 should have won.
What?
That's the best of the list of competitive multiplayer games that they have. That is the best one.
Okay.
Need for Speed.
Need for Speed Most Wanted, Halo 4, FIFA 13, and Black Ops 2. Jesus. All right.
I think Need for Speed should have won all the awards.
And another thing I don't agree with, like Borderlands 2 being under Best Art Direction, while it's a very awesome looking game, it's been seen before.
Yeah.
Like, we've never seen anything that looked like Fez. We've never seen anything that looked like Dishonored or Journey. Halo 4, I thought it's just an ad buy thing or something probably, but I mean, it's also attachment to the game from the employees that work there, I'd imagine. But Borderlands 2 we've seen Borderlands before. It's not that
well executed, but it's not a new art direction.
Like Journey, there's no way Journey doesn't win that. There's just no way.
See, I don't get how Max Payne got best animation. I didn't think it looked all that
Far
great.
Cry 3. Far Cry 3 wins all the technical things.
Honestly, from an animation standpoint, if you want to be honest about it,
actually, Skullgirls
should have won that.
Skullgirls, yes. Persona 4 Arena. There's many games that could have won that, but
no, Need for Speed should have won.
for best art direction, Cars.
Moving on. Moving on past award show that doesn't matter. The award show that does matter is next week.
Hell yeah.
Yes.
Hashtag KGAs, get it trending right now.
Hashtag KGAs, baby, get it trending. Up next, we have Square Enix. Wow. Just wow. So Square Enix put out an app for Facebook that would put hits out on your friends to promote Hitman, and it was pulled within, was it even up a day?
I don't think it was a day. Rock Paper Shotgun reported on it, I think the day it went up, and it was taken down immediately. I mean, everything about this is awful. I can't, like, when you read this story, it's hard to even believe that this was a real thing that happened. But their ad agency made this app that let you put hits on your friends for these joke type reasons, and some of the reasons were like your awful makeup or your annoying laugh.
Her small tits is on here. Reason for target elimination: she's cheating on her partner. Yes.
Wow, dude, just calling people out left and right with the Hitman app.
And then it gives like a personalized video where the Hitman like shoots your photos or something. Just
it was
holy shit.
How did that get out of like? Who is their PR department? Is it just like 14-year-olds?
Ubisoft is
it's some like award-winning ad agency. That's the scary part, is that no one thought this was a bad idea before they actually put it up.
I like the Facebook post. It just sends it to the person. It says, "I hope you get killed by a hitman," and that's all it says.
When I saw it, I was like, "How do you make it that blatant?" That's kind of a death threat.
Yeah. Yeah, I've said a couple times I would like to do that kind of stuff for a company, like a game company, PR crap. I think I could do better than you, Ubisoft. Like, you can hire me tomorrow. I will fly to wherever you want me to go and be your PR director and never threaten to kill your user base.
I don't think you could do any worse than they did with this. Everything about this is awful.
It's hilarious.
But they did pull it within, I don't know, a few hours of it going up. So someone pulled the plug real fast.
It's something that's supposed to be super tongue-in-cheek, obviously, but you can't do that for the mass public because they're not going to understand.
I'm generally refreshing Facebook looking for Square Enix posts every day anyway, so I'm sure I'm similar to everybody else, and I saw it.
The only thing I do on Facebook anymore is poke. That's all I do.
I noticed.
You're that guy? That's great.
I just poke.
Yeah, you do. You poke me every fucking day.
The one thing I will say is that their statement afterwards was kind of apologizing, but they said, and I'm kind of reading into this, but they said, "We're sorry for any offense caused by this." So they're not sorry that they did it in the first place. They're sorry if you happened to be offended and didn't get the joke. That's what I don't get. Is like just come out and say, listen, we messed up. We shouldn't have put that up. We're sorry we did that. We took it down. But they didn't. They did the PR move, and they didn't really actually own up to it, that's disappointing.
Hey, I just poked you, Brandon.
I didn't even know you could still do that on Facebook.
You really did.
I poked Hex now. I poked Hex. Dan and John haven't responded to my pokes. So.
Yeah, I don't respond to any of your damn pokes. Moving on to some quick stories. This was actually pretty big news and probably the biggest announcement to come out of the VGAs as far as like a trailer thing. Dark Souls 2 has been announced, which, regardless of the shittiness of the PC port of Dark Souls, it's a great game. And Demon Souls is also very good. So if you're a big fan of that series, Dark Souls 2 is coming. Not really any more details, but Dark Souls 2 should be amazing again. They haven't really failed minus the port.
Let's hope
the game itself.
Hope they spend a little more time on a PC version this time around.
Also, coming up very soon here, Path of Exile. Actually, is it out yet now? I don't think it's out.
I think it's the 12th is when it goes live.
Yeah, Path of Exile, which is an amazing game. It really is. If Torchlight 2 or Diablo 3 did you wrong, or you want something more hardcore, which is certainly this game, Path of Exile is going to be a free-to-play. Open beta starts January 23rd, 2013. Open beta. So definitely check that game out. I've enjoyed my time on it. I've got 20 or 30 hours into Path of Exile, so it's a very fun game, but it's much more hardcore than Diablo 3 or Torchlight 2. Well, depending on what difficulty you play Torchlight 2 on. But also, as Brandon said earlier, League of Legends has put out a large new patch which changed many features of mobile play.
Yeah, it changed quite a bit. I would say after playing quite a bit this week, the biggest change I noticed was the UI is now I think a lot better. I don't know if any of you have played it aside from John, but I think the new UI is really good. It gives you more than just like 5 recommended items that normally weren't really that good for different builds. And so you get like offensive items, defensive items. I think the suggestions for that stuff are a lot better. They made jungling changes and other item changes. So basically the bottom line is if you play League, it's a pretty big change. And so there's a lot of new stuff to learn. But it's kind of cool because I think, as I was saying before, I think the player base is more forgiving of people learning the game right now. So that's been kind of nice because you can learn a little bit compared to the normal League community, which, if you're not the best player ever, people yell at you.
Well, speaking of people yelling at you in League...
Mitter feed.
A League of Legends Pro, I believe...
I will dominate.
I will dominate, yes.
From Dignitas.
Jungler?
Yes.
Dignitas?
Got exactly what he deserved.
He is apparently an asshole in League of Legends, and he has been banned for a year from the competitive scene. So Dignitas is in need of a jungler.
Fuzzy Otter.
Go try out.
New jungle changes. Everyone's on the same page, so you can go
look for APL Fisher on a Team Dignitas promo near you. But yeah, he posted a thing on Reddit apologizing and all this shit. But
like he's gonna say anything else except for he's sorry.
I know. He should have come out and been an asshole about it again.
Yeah, I don't play with these fucking casuals. I don't deal with this.
Apparently, he was taunting and yelling during professional matches too.
It's good. He should. Somebody needs to get it.
Yeah,
there needs to be an example in League of Legends and all MOBAs because that's the biggest problem with them, for me at least. People just being assholes.
I completely agree with Riot's doing this. I think it's a smart move because it's. I think it'll force their professional players to really step up and be role models. And when you look at the evidence against this guy, he was apparently in the worst 0.7% of all North American players. Do you realize how bad you have to be in the worst 1% of every League player in North America?
Know.
That's incredible.
The least bad people are terrible. So it's like,
the top 50% is awful. The bottom 50% is even worse. The bottom 1%, I mean, these people, I don't even want to imagine it.
That's right. All Shiv Noah is correct. He should get an award, actually. Just be a big butthole.
His percentile for harassment is probably higher than his ELO percentile. It's ridiculous.
He apparently got warned punished 8 different times. I mean, if you're playing and like your livelihood is this game and you get punished for your behavior 8 times and you don't change something, you deserve what's coming to you.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's the end of the news, guys. Don't be an asshole on MOBAs. And we'll be back.
You're getting banned.
Yeah, doesn't matter who you are.
Unless you're Russian and you're queuing in Dota 2 in American servers. I hate you.
Yeah.
And now it's time for Twitter questions with the KBMOD podcast.
And time for the Twitter questions. XX Skywatcher XX, who is also in a quick scoping clan, I would assume, asks, he's only missing a Sephiroth or Dark Sephiroth or Naruto reference, and I would
Dark
totally
Sasuke?
read it. Yeah, Dark Sasuke 420
Optic
Sephiroth.
Dark Sasuke?
Yes. If you can receive whatever hardware you want for Christmas, what would it be? Mine would obviously be a giant purple dildo.
That's definitely a hardware. That's hard.
It's true.
You mean like the dildo bat in Saints Row 3? Can't you actually buy that? I thought you could actually buy that thing.
I didn't look into it. Sorry, John. I haven't.
You who can't mention fleshlights in your house should not be mentioning dildo bats. Okay? All right.
Mine would be some kind of DSLR camera. I want a new camera.
Strong. I just want a 3770K. That's all I want.
Go to Micro Center and get one for $200. Just kidding. Get wrecked, kid. Get wrecked, kid.
I want another 680 because now I only have one. But I'll get my second one back. I got the.
By the way, what processor did you go?
3770K.
I was gonna say, don't be stupid.
I mean,
I hate money though. I hate it. So I just want.
I don't want it anywhere near me.
If we're saying I can get whatever I want, then I'm gonna get a 690. Duh.
Really?
No,
Absolutely.
680.
Absolutely.
I'd rather
You'll get 7990 if you're getting.
If we're going with anything we want, I'm getting a money-making machine that will not make me go to jail. That's my piece of hardware. That's my piece of hardware.
The only thing at this point is the Live Gamer. I want a Live Gamer HD.
You're getting it.
I know,
so
I
it's
am.
pointless. Ask for
It's going to be in your
something else.
stocking.
My parents already said that
Along
I'm
with
getting it
tube
for
socks
Christmas.
that you can
Your
use.
parents are buying you a Live Gamer HD.
Yes. How awesome.
He's like,
He's like, I'm 40. Mom, will you buy me Halo 3?
Look, man,
want
I
to
got
show
a.
my gaming
Those are
through the
kick-ass
internet.
parents.
They bought me the 6870 the year they came out.
See, that's boss. That is boss.
Um,
My parents, if I said buy me a Live Gamer HD, they would just I don't know what they would do. It would not be the card. though.
really
It would be
easy. You
something-
just put it on an Amazon.
You'd have
wishlist
to
and
give
don't
them a
talk to your
direct
parents.
link to the product you were talking about. You don't just say Live Gamer HD, because then you get like some like
Gamma
handheld
Labs.
from the toy store or something.
That's true. You might get a handheld. You might get a PS Vita. That would be terrible. Up next, Xanderzog asks, is there a game that you bought during the Steam summer sales that you still haven't
All
played?
of them. One.
Yes. Just one? Yeah, is that like...
Every game I bought in the summer sale, I haven't played yet.
Yeah. same.
Let me...
It's not from the summer sale, but I just yesterday played Binding of Isaac for the first time when I got it in that Humble bundle.
So good!
Yeah,
Play it more.
It's very fun.
But it also makes me rage like nothing.
So yeah, I
else.
probably have a game I haven't played yet from the sale.
I have multiple
Oh, you know what I haven't
games.
played yet that I did buy? Railworks 3. Train Simulator.
Dude,
Oh.
okay, I gotta bring this up. Euro Truck Simulator 2 got an 85 in PC Gamer.
That's
Really?
an
crazy.
85!
That's legit.
It's because it's totally original because you drive on the other side of the road. It's really changing the truck driving simulator.
You only drive on the other side of the road in certain countries. Nick.
The thing is,
Well, that's why it's original. You got to switch. You got to switch. You go over the border. You got to switch lanes. All right.
You got to rate those games for the kind of people that are going to play them anyway. So, if you're a fan of simulators, an
Bob
85.
probably loves that shit.
Yeah. See, look at this. Terraria, 10 minutes played.
Oh yeah, I have like 12 minutes in Terraria. I hated that game. It was terrible.
Of those.
Yeah, if you want to feel bad about yourself, just go into like the list view on Steam
And play
and then
time?
look at the last played date, and then look at all the games you have that have no last played
That have
date.
no playtime on them or anything. I love those. It's so great.
That's 98% of my library. No lie. I have 311 games. I bet 12 of them have been played.
It's bad because the best deals, whenever there's a really good deal, the chances that I'm gonna play it become even smaller. 'Cause
Yeah.
if it's like $1 game, I'm like, I'll buy it, I don't care, and then I'll never play it because it was $1, so I don't feel bad. But then
Like when you drop 60 on a game.
games.
Yeah, when you drop 60 on a game, you're gonna play it. If you buy Wizorb for 74 cents, I'm never gonna play that again. Now it was an hour done.
So, this next question is from @BasedNHL, which is the most oxymoronic statement ever made.
1v1 me NHL on lockout. Get it? Because lock.
God, fuck.
Yeah, that's what NHL 14 is going to be. It's a lockout simulator where you don't play a game for an entire fucking
Yeah, you just
year.
don't.
You just
play
sit
a game.
in negotiations and like type evil things to Bettman.
I really hope that the NHL 14 is just a knife in a box and Gary Bettman's address. It's just that's what you get.
He wants to know if we'll be getting Valve consoles.
Nope.
It's all based on the price. That's all that
Based on the
matters.
price, but no, I won't. 'Cause
I have a gaming PC.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I
Unless
have a
there's like
Roku.
for some reason, like if they made like a Valve box exclusive game, which would be ridiculous.
stupid.
Because God, if they did that, I would
That would
buy
yeah.
one. I don't care.
Okay.
I'd buy one.
Buy it. I'd say fuck it.
Actually, where my TV's located in my living room, if I really cared, I would just run a really long HDMI cable down to the living room and play with this computer there too.
So, speaking of the NHL lockout, this next question I think is more for me and John than anyone else. But
It has.
at Yummy Man Ass asks, would you wear an undefiled Giroux jersey for a month to end the lockout
No.
today?
Mm.
No.
Absolutely would not.
Yeah.
I would.
No,
I would wear an undefiled
close to
Lindros
doing-
jersey.
Yeah, I
Or
would do
Von
that.
Hextall jersey, perhaps. I would not wear a Claude Giroux.
I'll wear a Yager jersey.
I'd wear a Yager
I would not
jersey.
wear a Yager Flyers jersey. You didn't specify. I'd wear a Yager jersey. I have
That's
a Penguins
true.
Yager there.
I would actually, if you end the lockout, I'll wear a Yager Flyers jersey. That's how much I want to see hockey. I just miss it so much.
So, up next here, Damsuda, the Wondrous Sam, our mod,
Based
the
fan.
only female who watches KBMOD.
I don't know how she does it. We should just
Yeah, I don't know
buy
how
her
she
a gaming PC because she's the only female in the community.
Tegan.
No, that's
Tegan?
fair.
Tegan.
Teagues. There's Teagues.
Tegan.
Yeah. What has been your favorite movie of this year, of 2012?
Brave.
It's probably going to be Django Unchained.
God, that does look good.
Jurassic
I
Park.
haven't seen many movies this year, but
Jurassic Park didn't
Skyfall.
come out this year.
It counts.
Doesn't
The
count.
Blu-rays. The Blu-rays came out this year. Oh, that counts.
So far,
What about Dark Knight Rises, Nick?
Dark Knight? Oh no.
no.
Backdoor Sluts 9 respected. Excellent choice.
Yeah,
Excellent.
that is
Good.
That is a good one.
You know what was actually really
Instead of
good?
talking-
Perks of Being Wallflower. Excellent.
I have not seen a movie in the theater this year.
You know what, Dan? I know you really like that book. You're going to like the movie. It's very, very accurate.
Wait, did one of the Harry Potters come out this year?
No.
No.
I
Brave-
haven't seen Lincoln yet. I want to see Lincoln.
I heard that
only
was really
saw
good.
Brave
And I wanted to see The Master.
The new Twilight in theaters this year.
Oh no, I saw Wreck-It Ralph. So I'll say Wreck-It Ralph.
How was Wreck-It
Yes.
Ralph? Was it good?
It's awesome, and if you like video games, you'll love it. Just because you'll see all the cameos that characters make, and it's cool. Yeah. So I saw that, and that was decent.
How much money did
I
they?
saw Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter, but that was
I heard
not
that was bad.
Yeah, Hobbit comes out like next week, doesn't it?
No, it comes
Christmas
out this
Day.
week.
Biggest
Oh my
boner
god.
of-
Ugh.
And I have my weekend planned, so there
Yeah.
you go.
Yeah, with the length
Oh
of that
my
movie,
God.
you'll probably see it
Yeah.
3 times.
Like I love the Tolkien universe. I want to see what happens to Voldemort.
Dude, Vader's his father. Did you know that?
There you go. Tie in the 3 biggest. At the Dialect asks, if you could punch any person on Earth as hard as humanly possible without consequence, who would you choose?
Gary Bettman.
Yes, at this very moment. Actually, I would take both fists and punch Don Fair.
Yeah,
and
I would
Gary
punch
Bettman.
them both with each fist. I would hit Fair with my left hand because it wouldn't be quite as painful, but Bettman would get the full brunt of the right.
Yeah.
And then I would urinate on his breasts.
Yes. Just
Did he grow them from the punch?
Yes, he did.
Men have breasts as well.
That's true.
He doesn't have titties.
Today.
There's a difference.
That's
That's
T-A-Y-S.
sure. A close second is Scott Fisher for not contacting me tonight.
I still say Bob Post. I have to work with him every day. There's some days I just want to punch him in the face, and I don't do it because I like him. But some days I just want to punch him right in his mouth. Sorry,
That's
Bob.
like every other day for me.
Yeah, you guys fight like an old gay couple. Like
We do.
you look at each other and it's like, oh, we're such good friends. And then 35 seconds later, you rage quit the internet like once a week when we're talking.
You know who else I'd
fucking him
really
out.
like to punch that might be beyond Gary Bettman, Dan?
Ooh.
Vincent's son from Vincent's Pizza Park. That motherfucker
Oh, yeah.
who just paid the rent and got my pizza shop shut down. Fuck that guy.
Yeah, John doesn't even live in Pittsburgh anymore, and he's this
Isn't that
passionate.
cruddy place in like?
Fuck,
Dude,
Dude, that shit's amazing.
I've never
It's
eaten there. It just looks
in
like a
Forest
shithole.
Hills.
Yeah,
It
looks
is
like
a
a shit.
shithole. He
This is
fucking smokes
hilarious.
cigars while he's making your pizza.
It's hilarious because when he said "fuck you," he pointed at Hex, but in my perspective, he pointed at Brandon.
Vincent's Pizza is the best pizza
Was.
on the planet. No, it still is, and it will always be.
You can't get it anymore though.
He didn't pay the rent. That's
Yeah,
literally
literally
all
His
that.
son did just stop paying the rent. His dad died. He inherited the pizza shop and just like didn't pay rent for 9 months.
I'd punch Michelangelo Palikimaha. That's my person I would punch.
That's Mike Pollack, for those of you who don't know.
I think if we're saying without consequence, I think I'd go for Lamar Smith, congressman who
good
proposed
choice.
SOPA.
By the way, Brandon lives in Texas.
No,
Dude,
my
you gotta get,
my parents live in that district.
dude, you got to get your parents to not vote.
He's the fucking head of the science technology board now.
Science. This man is the head of the science. Okay, we're not.
I cannot weep enough tears.
I would start crying blood eventually. Just it's so much hate.
How? I don't think that's possible.
Oh, it is.
This Abort Fenton
is like
2012 guy just spams the Twitters.
I know, and it's all terrible.
It's so
They're
like, it's so like you upvote though. I would definitely upvote that.
Speaking of upvotes, I'm glad the only thing I've ever put on Reddit, Nick Fenton specifically found me and downloaded the comment. He was like, "I can't wait for you to post something on Reddit for the first time."
I immediately
downloaded it. He told me he had a tab open with my profile.
I kept the
on
tab
it.
open until he posted something so I could download it.
Oh my god! All right, next question. At Ren LOL,
Correct,
what
kid.
games are you looking forward to purchasing on the Steam Christmas sale?
A bunch
I'm
more I
looking
will
for
never play.
I'm looking for like a $30, $25 Dishonored again.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. I'm gonna end up grabbing Dishonored.
Halo 4 Game of the Year edition.
I'm actually hoping that the other Assassin's Creed games I don't own go on sale.
And I need
So
to pick up Max Payne 3.
Yeah, if
Yes,
Assassin's Creed 3
Max-
goes on sale for PC, I'll get that.
And I'm always looking for the YS games, the East games.
I don't
I'd
have
say
Brotherhood or
Dishonored.
Revelation.
Dishonored. If I can get it to like 20, I'll pick up Dishonored. And actually,
Yeah.
like a lot of the smaller games that the little indie games that have gone on sale for like 10, because I know I'm never gonna play them. They got to be like 5.
You got to get that Hotline Miami, dude, or Mark of the Ninja. I'm telling
Yes,
you guys.
Those
Mark
are the
of
kinds of
Ninja.
games I'm talking about. If they go
It's
on like
totally worth your money,
75% off, I'll get those definitely.
Dishonored left the nastiest, most sour turd in my mouth after I finished it.
I didn't really
No.
care for Dishonored. I started it and it was like, okay, and then
It's me.
like
Sleeping Dogs. I'm looking for Sleeping Dogs
get
on
it,
special.
get it, and just play it for the rest of your life. It's my game of the year, best game this year. Fantastic.
Up next, UDP7. What is your favorite weapon in Black Ops? Mine's the Scar H. That's how it's typed. The Scar H.
the Scar hate.
like a HD PVR.
A HD, yeah, like a HD PVR. Exactly.
Mine is
Dude, Chaz, Scorpion is for scrubs.
Mine's a fucking C4, dude. I don't care about guns. I love killing multiple people with C4. That's the best thing in any
Can you
FPS.
throw it like a frisbee?
Sort
Like
of.
You can,
That, and I
Because the
love
bouncing
bouncing
Betty-
betties because those should be a thing. Those should exist in every game because they're great.
Do you shoot your C4 in the air like Grizz though?
Yeah.
yeah.
I use my pistol though.
MP7.
I throw my
I like the-
C4 in the air. And
MP7 is
and
quite
ignite it.
strong.
Commando. There's lunge on C4.
I like the foul. Chaz, you got Master League because there's 60 people on Earth.
Chez is
playing
like,
Master
I'm top 10 in Master League. It's like, you're top 10 out of 11. It doesn't matter.
I lost a bunch of games in League play, so I could not be there.
Yeah.
Because you can't get
Just got out of this.
You're only going to get a game in Diamond.
I'm going with the foul. The foul. With the semi-auto fire. I don't want the select.
My honest
answer
answer is probably the intervention with Slay to Hand Pro.
I knew it was coming. Every Call of Duty gun.
What attachment do you use? FMJ? So you can get.
I use FMJ with Slay to Hand Pro.
You can get the collaterals on High Rise.
Yeah, right through the glass.
High Rise is a great map.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
My answer is the AN-94 because it's the AK of Black Ops 2.
Yeah, it's a great gun. Put an EOTech on that. Give it a go. It's good.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's for nerds.
Plays Dota, calls game for nerds. At JoeBean5 asks, if you could apply one feature from an existing game to all other games in that genre, what would it be? I actually thought about this one before the cast, and my answer is I would bring the Pick 10 system from Blops 2 to every FPS that has a class system.
That's a solid answer.
Not like Counter-Strike, but like every FPS that has a class system. Like I would give it Pick 10. I like it. Black Ops 2 Mute All. That's a good one.
That is a good one.
I don't know.
I would say for me, the one that sticks out in my mind because I only have a few seconds to think about it is like the way that instancing works in World of Warcraft. Yes. You should have that in every other MMO. So you don't have to like actually walk anywhere and zone into somewhere. You queue up with a UI and then it automatically teleports you and stuff. Like the way World of Warcraft does that, that's how pretty much all MMOs should handle instancing.
I would say with not much time to think, the fast travel game the fast travel options that Skyrim has. Once you've been someplace, you just get back to it, because that was one of the best things about Skyrim is you just go somewhere once and then take a cart there and then just instantly be there again. It made that game a lot more playable.
Mine is the ability to search items when you're buying something, which they just added in League of Legends, thank God. So you can type out what item you're trying to get. That's so useful for any game where you need items, not even just MOBAs, RPGs or anything.
I can't tell you how much time I've wasted in League of Legends in a game just sitting there because I couldn't remember which tab the item was on.
My feature is very simple, and it's from TF2 and Counter-Strike and all those. When I can type quit in a developer console and it closes my game.
That is actually
or just developer console
dev console for all
the most
games.
important thing to me is just being able to type quit in my console and the game closes.
Can we just say 110 FOV and be done with it? That should be in every
110 FOV. I don't even use 110 FOV.
I can't use it on it. I tried using it on Far Cry 3 and I couldn't. It made me sick.
I use 100
Far Cry 3 because it makes the movement feel faster.
Yeah.
Orb, why are you moving so fast and why are your arms stretched out? Orb, how are you doing that?
We just lived.
Is this Xbox?
We just lived an 8-hour Incredible Orb stream right there. We just summarized it for you.
Why do your graphics look weird? Why?
Yeah.
Why are your graphics so weird?
No, the worst is when I play TF2. People are like, "Where are your guns? Where are your guns?" It's like, dude, I turned them off.
You can turn the gun
I
models
turned
off?
my guns off.
I turn my view models off for TF2.
A lot of competitive players.
My melee
in
weapon has a view model, but my guns don't.
In enemy territory, I had a script that would turn it off for my SMGs, but then turn it back on for like pistol, knife, and stuff. Those are the days.
Too, but only with melee weapons.
I just tried to pick up the allied gun in the ET every time. That's all I wanted to do.
Yeah, the Thompson.
Pick up the.
You guys mean Quake?
Thompson was so much MP40.
I know.
So.
God, I could talk about that all day.
ET had the best fucking crosshair too.
Yeah, it did. All right, we're just gonna keep having ET.
Can we just say that the feature from existing game, it should just be ET? Just someone just
every
ET is a game that exists, and if every other game in that genre was ET, that would be good.
That was such a great game.
Last couple of questions here. At Sage the Elephant, since most of you upload occasionally, what advice would you give to someone who wants to make vid streams as a hobby? The number one piece of advice, serious advice.
You should ask Nick Fenton, because his channel has experienced tremendous growth that is not exactly on par with his level of talent.
Wow, calling him out.
Basically what you want to do is you want to meet people like Jordan and Mark and then backpack on their success.
So
Nick is so mad. He's
like me, for instance. I met Hutch and he let me upload a video to his channel, and now I'm famous.
Getting popular on YouTube is like getting lucky on stocks. I got lucky on Jordan, all right, and now I'm rich. All right, I own an oil company now, so I invested and it paid off. So how about that?
I was gonna say,
if you really want to ask somebody how to make your channel successful, ask Mark, because Mark had been in videos with Jordan for an extremely long time, and his growth was never really that massive because of that. And then out of nowhere, people just like started flocking to his shit. So I think Mark is probably the best person to ask that question, because he's experienced the most like mass growth I've ever seen, just randomly out of nowhere, and it had nothing to do with the people that he played with.
I guess I would say the easiest way to say it would just be like consistency.
Or another instance is Tetra Ninja. He can teach you how to like be persistent as hell, because his channel is small for a very long time, and then it just got really, really big.
Also, Mark's really fucking funny.
Yeah, Mark. So you have to have a voice too, and you have to have a really good laugh. Like my laugh is like, I suck, and people seem to like that. But Mark's laugh, it doesn't matter. Yeah, if you were dying, if you were watching your family member die in front of you and Mark came in and started laughing, you would probably laugh.
This was serious, but holy shit.
Like Mark, you have to have that laugh too. Like I think Mark's probably the best example of
actually, Xandershock is right. Mark started hanging out with KBMOD and then his channel blew up.
Yeah, that's true.
It's persistent.
That's completely a fluke.
Like we make people famous. We're like an agency.
Or you can start a shitload of drama about some guy copying your content and not giving you a shout out, like that one dude did with Raw Instinct, and you will blow up.
I really think
it's actually I2 Instinct.
A couple serious pieces of advice. Serious pieces of advice. Put some time into your content. Don't just throw up shit unless you're extremely good at it. Like John was, for instance. John just would record and it was decent, and then it was funny and it would work. But like Blacklight Attack puts so much work into his videos. Oh my
god,
and they're all really good.
He doesn't even need to.
He's not even a human. He's a raccoon.
His personality just makes it like.
Oh yeah, he's just a fun guy to be around.
Yeah, and also upload on when we started, and this was something that I saw just like from what Alex did with our channel this summer. Upload on a regular schedule, and people love that shit. Like, I don't know why, but they do. As soon as we did that, boom, just
I guess it's people
took off.
People can look forward to something on certain days, and it's just they get into it. People are
humans
are creatures of habit. So
I was really disappointed when Blacklight's first season of 60 Second Let's Play ended, because I knew every morning on Monday I was like, yes, I have that to watch.
Yeah, that's the one show that I like legit look forward to all the time, is that. And I mean, like I've actually recently started watching a lot more people's videos. Like I watch Diction a lot. Bad Advice with Diction is great.
Yeah,
really funny. I watch the majority of Mark's shit now as well. Like even some of my closest friends, like on the YouTube scene, like I don't watch their videos. Like I don't watch a lot of Adam's stuff. I don't watch a lot of Jordan's stuff. But like there's like a select group of people that that I'm attached to their content.
Yeah, there's like, to go completely off of like the gaming base, honestly, one person that I watch on YouTube all the time, and I have no idea why, is Daily Grace. I watch her like every day.
I watch her too. I just started watching her recently, and she has a really weird sense of humor, but I love it.
Yeah, she's like funny and strange at the same time. And she, like, all her videos are genuinely well produced. Like, she always has fun with what she's doing.
Well, no, she just has so much white noise.
The one thing I'll say is I think, at least in terms of the videos I'll watch, is you kind of have to have a baseline for the way the video looks and the way the video sounds. So if you're recording on like your laptop mic and getting 15 frames a second in TF2, no one's going to watch that. So I think you want to make sure that your video, like the gameplay or whatever people are watching, is smooth and like enjoyable to watch.
You don't need to be a good player though. Make sure that people are aware.
You don't have to be the best player, but the gameplay has to be something you can watch. You don't want it to be really jittery. It has to be smooth, and you want to make sure that your audio comes through clearly. So maybe get a good microphone or. Just
that makes a huge difference. Only show your face if you're not a troll. If you don't look like a fucking goblin. And I mean that honestly. Like, I'm not saying that to be mean, but if you give people a reason to like make fun of you all the time, it's going to continue forever. Like, look at Wings. Wings, like, I know a lot of people who don't like him. A lot of people in here don't like him. I get along with Wings very well, but because he's a bigger dude. Like, that's all people can focus on. And you need to know that you're not giving people a reason to just make fun of you constantly, because people go to Wings' videos and he gets the views and he makes the money, but they're going there to tell him that he's a piece of shit. And you don't want that.
Just make your video something that you yourself would watch.
Yes.
I would definitely support Brandon in the microphone.
I agree with Brandon. Basically, what we're saying is don't be a stupid poor person.
Yeah,
have a computer worthy of capturing things.
With anyone who watched my early videos, which is probably
Velcro Mike.
In this chat.
Talking about
Velcro Mike was the fucking worst, and it made me so mad that I stopped uploading until for 3 months until I got a new mic.
Like, if you want a good current example of that, go back and watch like my Windows 8 quick view video where I used the shit ass dick piece of crap Logitech mic, and then watch the thumb drive video that I used the Blue Yeti.
Thumb drive video.
Audio qualities.
Another huge tip that's beard.
Yes.
Yeah, people love beards.
They do.
Have a beard.
It's great. It's fantastic.
So,
Hex
last question.
Down into two, like, it looks like
he has beard fangs.
Whoa, dude!
It's like
you've got like a beard anus vagina thing.
It doesn't grow there.
Is that like the gooch version of the face? Like right there between the neck and the chin. That's like
I just freaked the chat out so bad.
It's the face gooch.
It's like you have a beard paint.
Yeah, it just doesn't grow there, and I don't know why. So it comes down in like the little dwarf. If I could get it to be long enough, like Garrettson's, I'm just gonna braid it into like those big dwarf braids.
That would be legit, actually. But we are on to one last question. So there you go. You're all going to get YouTube famous now. From all of us with our dead channels like me.
I know you do.
And Brandon. Me and Brandon, who upload all the time.
Oh, yeah.
I do.
And John. All three of us.
I might upload a video tonight just to spite people.
It's just going to be him screaming.
Just upload an untitled or a sequence1.wnb. just like not even no effort.
I'm just going to title it video game video. Video game.
You should upload that to the video games.
Video
channel,
game
John.
Commentary.
Are you a video games channel director?
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, I am.
All right, that's enough. I'm not going to talk about video games anymore. Last question is from the name is KP. If you could own a second house, where would it be?
Dubai.
Chile.
Dubai.
Interesting. Dubai. Good one. Minus, the
good part of
closest
Dubai. You know what part of Dubai I mean.
Not the trashy Dubai.
there is no trashy Dubai, dude.
Seriously, I don't want to.
If I honestly had to choose, I would say I would build like a 500 million square foot mansion in Compton and just say fuck you. Fuck it. I just buy a house that's bigger than the entire area of Compton and just like have like diamond gates around the house so they couldn't penetrate it even if they wanted to.
Maybe you should just buy Compton.
Yeah, I'll buy Compton and build a huge mansion there.
There you go.
Somewhere in the French Riviera, because there's literally no downsides. Like, it's just awesome all the time.
To be like legit honest, after seeing Fwitz's pictures of his vacation with Justine, I would want to buy a home in Bora Bora. I would want to buy one of those huts in the middle of the ocean in Bora Bora, and I would never need to go on the internet again. Because I love fish, and I can just look through my glass floor and watch fish all day.
That's true.
And he was slaying it the whole time he was there.
You had to add it. You had to add that.
Yeah, I had to.
I knew it was getting to that.
So I just want to go there and move there with the lady, and I'll just slay it all the time and watch fish.
I seriously, I don't want anything fancy. Seattle. I would love to live there.
Seattle?
I'm dead serious.
Beautiful
Nice,
city.
dude. Nice, dude. Hex, you're. I think that's.
Yeah, dude, you
settling.
should go move next to the park that's next to Zombie Studios and just get raped by homeless people all the time. Like, that's what you should do.
Hey guys, I love.
'Cause
if I could buy a house anywhere, yeah, Seattle. I love settling for real estate. That's great.
I just don't care.
The Earth.
But I would like a nice 1-bedroom apartment in Seattle.
Yeah, it's fine.
I just want Rick Leslie's
If I
apartment.
could buy
Seattle.
anything,
That's all
I'd take a studio. I'd take a studio apartment in Seattle.
I've always wanted to live there my entire life. Like I've always wanted to live there.
I'd fucking do it.
I can't. I can't. I have a career and a family here.
If we're just saying like if money was no object, I would say one of the condos like in downtown New York City, like in New York City, places that cost millions and millions of dollars.
That's fair.
I think that would be really cool to live kind of in that, right in the middle of
Dude.
everything.
Get on the neighborhood watch with Matt Lauer.
For no other reason other than the status.
Well,
I definitely tweeted it, Fwiz. I'm sorry. That brings us to the end of the podcast
Jesus.
this week.
I just saw it.
Downtown Vancouver is a good choice. That brings us to the end of the podcast this week. Thank you so much for coming out, guys. Do not forget, next week, the award show extravaganza memorial blast telethon. Be there or be square.
All proceeds go to helping me fill this bald spot in my beard.
Yeah, make sure to follow us at KBMOD Gaming.
Hashtag KGAs.
Thanks for coming out,
hashtag
Ches.
KGAs.
You were a great
Thanks for
contributor.
coming out to the podcast, Ches. You were an awesome guest this week.
And this is your guest appearance, so.
Yeah, that was it. So, thank you so much, and we will see you next week, guys.